Hey everybody, welcome back. This is your host, Brandy J, Voices of Courage, Walk the Talk, a place where people can come, use their voice, may bring awareness. And I have with me a very awesome guest today because we are always doing things that involve apps. So I'm so excited to bring here Mr. John Lee. He is the founder of Custom Mobile Apps. And now you can talk, Mr. Sir. I would have never
Yeah,
stopped.
I'm the founder of Mobile.app. We're the first agency in the world to let anyone create a custom branded and professional mobile app for their business. So if you're a podcaster, we can make we can custom build beautiful branded apps. I'm still working on like the the pitch for it, but we can custom build mobile apps for your show starting at plans at $6 a month. So it's the first affordable option to make a your own app for your own show. In addition to your website, there are a lot of benefits that come with having an app, a lot of business benefits. And I'm just trying to get the word out and let podcasters know this is another option for you to not only get your content out there to more people, make it more accessible, but to convert them to customers and convert them into fans, because that's what makes your show into a business, into something that supports your lifestyle. So yeah, that's why, and thank you for having me on to share what we're working on.
Yeah, you're so right. Because first you said affordable. That's important because it's cost. And I know like right now where we're at with our show, I've been looking into like apps and something to enhance and to bring along where we're at. So
Mhm.
what brought about the idea to start this?
Well, I've wanted to own my own business for a couple of years, and this is not where I started. I started trying to build my own app, my own social podcast app. So something
Cool.
like there was Breaker. They're gone now, but Breaker was like one of the first social podcast apps that.
Mhm.
So the idea was you could find your shows, listen to them just like any other app, but you could also engage that show on their social media accounts right there in the same space. So I started building that a couple of years ago with an agency. I hired an agency. I spent a lot of money. It drained my savings. And I was working on that for months and months, over a year. And in the end was very disappointed with the product. But in that time, I saw other social podcast apps come and then go. It just happened again and again. And I was like, what am I doing? I've just put my life into building something that is going to fail. So I came to a crisis last year and I was thinking, okay, this is not going to work. Can I shift this? Can I pivot my product or my business into something that's going to work as a business and not just a drain on my life savings? So just around when COVID started, I was thinking, well, we've built an app for ourselves. It's a podcast app. We have this technology. I mean, I've spent again so much time and money building it. Is there a way that I can let other podcasters have their own app, maybe use our technology, but have their own app for their own show, just like they have a website? And so I looked around to see what other companies were doing this, and there are, software development agencies that it'll cost you like what I did. To do what I did costs in the tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to build an app for your business. I mean, that's why only the biggest companies have their own apps and they hire developers to build their own apps. Then there were like the big podcast hosts, like Libsyn is the one that comes to mind. They have a custom mobile product as well that you can buy, but it's part of their hosting packages. It's part of like their professional hosting package. So you have to host your show with them, and it's very
Yeah.
expensive, and it takes a long
Hmm.
time. I was like, okay, at least there are other companies doing this and other podcast companies doing it. Maybe there's a
Yeah.
market for this out there.
Yeah.
So that's what kept me going. And I wanted to make our service affordable and accessible to everyone. So just like a website, it costs you a couple of dollars a month to have a website. You can whip one up in a day on
Hmm.
WordPress or Squarespace or wherever. It's become so accessible and easy to use. Uh, why can't making a mobile app for your business or your show be just as easy and just as affordable? So
Hmm.
that was the idea. That's why we wanted to keep that $6 a month hobby tier there for anyone to just make an app for your show like you make a website for your show. Because the website and the app, these are your own properties. That's your home on the web.
Hmm.
And if you're a content creator, you're publishing content everywhere. It's going out through your public RSS feed to anything that will take it, right? Apple Podcasts, Spotify, even like there are so many podcast apps that will just pull your RSS feed and distribute your content for you. But
Yeah.
you as the creator don't have any control over those listeners. They're getting your content, but they have no way to talk back to you, and you have no way to shake their hands or talk to them and pull them into your group, your community.
Yeah.
That's why like a lot of podcasters say to their listeners, come to our website. We've got a blog article on this episode. If you want to see more content about this episode, come to our website. Everything is come to our website because that's where listeners get further engaged, they become fans, and ultimately they convert to customers. They buy stuff or they support you as a patron or they sign up to be on your newsletter. And that's, as a content creator and as a business person, that's where the value is because you own that relationship now. They're your
Yeah.
people. They're not anonymous listeners somewhere in the world. They're on your email list. They're in your
Yeah.
community. So that's the huge value of drawing people into your own properties. And a mobile app, I think, is even better than a website, but you need a website for sure. But you would want a mobile app if you can afford it because the front door to your home is now in the pockets of your listeners. Whoever you can get to download your app onto their phones, your front door is right there on their phones. If you were to send a push notification to them saying, "Hi, how's it going?" They'll see a notification and they'll tap through into the app. They can check out your latest episode. We have a real-time chat feature at that $6 a month tier, so they can directly chat with you, the host, or other listeners right inside the app. And we can put all your content into that app. So it's not just the audio. A lot of podcasters have YouTube videos. They may have articles on each of the episodes. Um, they may have other content that they want to just put in one place. The app can become that one-stop shop for all the content, not just the podcast episodes that the listener would hear on Apple or Spotify. Um, yeah, so I think the direct access to the listener on their devices is invaluable as a business person. And whatever you can do to get your listeners to download the app, like if you gave them exclusive content just in the app, you can't get this content anywhere else, or give them access to yourself as a host. Like you can't talk to me the way you can talk to me on this app. We can DM each other on this app and have conversations about the episode right there. Those are the incentives I think that it would take to get a listener to download an app because we don't want more apps on our phones in general. Like I don't want my phone loaded up with apps for every show. No, but for the shows that I really care about and that really help me, if the app let me get more of that value that I want from the show and gave me access to the creators, I think I would have that on my phone. And especially if a conversation is started with the host or with other listeners, and we're just going back and forth. I mean, no other app gets the engagement that a chat app gets.
Right.
So if you're
Hmm.
on WhatsApp or something and you're in a family group and people are replying, we're going in every time that app pings to see what my brother said or what my father said or how they like replied in that thread. So getting a conversation going, I think, is super valuable as a content creator, and it makes the app that much stickier.
Yeah.
Those are some of the benefits I think of having an app, and it's now affordable and accessible to everyone, not just the rich and the big brands. It can be any micro brand, any individual brand wanting to own that mobile channel as well as the web channel.
So even like a beginner, like starting out too, right? To
Yeah,
connect, because even beginning, you're going to need that, that way to get to your, what I mean, the people you're trying to get to. And what you said was very genius because that's the stage where I've been in right now. using the social audio aspect right now, like Clubhouse and all that stuff.
Hmm.
Trying to get, because when we're on our podcast, we're talking to the listeners, you know, but I know that, I'll go into these other apps and I'll tell them how important it is to interact. And I'm like, no, we need a place. I told my partner, we need to interact with those listeners. You know what I mean? Like make them feel
Yeah.
a part of it. They want let their voice be heard too and let them get to know us and,
Oh
engage
yeah.
with them. So that's perfect. Genius.
Yeah, no, there's a phrase that I've been thinking about over the past couple of weeks is listeners will come for the content, but they'll stay for the community.
Hmm.
So I think a lot of content creators and business people, they want to try to create communities. And traditionally it's been like on social media. Let's try to
Yeah.
make a community on our Twitter account or on our Instagram account, but those are still other people's
Yeah.
property. It's like Twitter. It's not mine. So
Right.
the more listeners you can get to become your members inside your home community, like your membership platform or something, those are so much more valuable to you as a business person than 1,000 followers on Twitter. Probably 100 people in your own private community is far more valuable than 10,000 followers on Instagram or Twitter, I
Yeah.
think.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Wow. That's pretty well, I'm sold. Where have you been all my life? So yeah,
Cool.
that's exactly where my head's been. So far, like, how has it been for you? Like, have you been seeing a lot of people respond?
So I've been at this since January. So we relaunched the website in January, and I've been trying to get the word out. But I've only just started doing podcasts. You know, so I think this is going to make a difference. But we have about, I want to say like around 35 clients right now. But I mean, I'm thinking at the level that we're offering this service, it should be much more accessible. Like more people should know about it, and they should be more interested in it. The challenge is meant to get the word out, I think.
Yeah,
And getting podcasts to think of themselves as business people, I think, is also maybe a hurdle. I don't think a lot of podcasters, especially new podcasters, think of themselves as business people,
yeah,
and that they're growing a business. They're like just maybe thinking about, I'm growing a show, I'm growing an audience. They're not thinking about monetizing that audience and turning it into a business that might sustain them full
yeah,
time, for example. So for the more business minded podcasters, I'm seeing more of a reception. And
yeah,
then podcast networks. We added that tier just a month or two ago. I think podcast networks are businesses and they know they're businesses. So they're seeing that we offer a way to make a network app for them. They can house all their shows in one app to give their listeners a way to cross discover other shows inside the network. And I've gotten more receptivity from podcast networks. But yeah, it's been a struggle. I mean, I think conversations really help, and I'm
yeah,
investing more of my time into having real conversations with people who are interested because more than text, more than I think on social media, I'm on Twitter and Instagram as well. I think having a face to face or just a phone conversation really helps kind of get the message across and get people to understand, oh, I can afford this and I should do this for my business.
yeah, most definitely. I mean, when we're off of here, we're gonna talk. I definitely would like to take advantage. You know what I mean?
Cool.
So, because you're right, like a lot of podcasters, especially in the beginning, they're just like, "Oh, I have a show," but that show, even though you want listeners and stuff, that's still like a business because you have a service.
Right. And a show really should only be one part of your overall marketing strategy. Your
Yeah,
audio podcast is just one marketing channel. You may
yeah,
also want to promote yourself through video or
yeah.
through articles and your website. So to
Hmm.
think bigger than just the show is important when you're growing a business.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, I just picked up on the newsletter part.
Oh yeah,
So
the
I've been working on
newsletter
that.
is awesome. Like I see a friend of ours is an author and she's growing a newsletter really rapidly. Um, and a newsletter is great because those readers are your readers. They're on
Yeah.
your email list, and you can email them as much as you like. I mean, you shouldn't email them every day, but if you're delivering value, you have full control over that relationship. And as a business person, that there's nothing more valuable than that relationship and the control you have over that communication. Thing about an app is it's just like a newsletter, except you can control the whole user experience of that listener. It's not just they get something in the email, they read content, and then they can reply if you have a newsletter, and you can accept replies. But in an app, it's like a house. You're putting the front door to your house on their phones, and they
Yeah.
can ring the doorbell, or you can ring the doorbell and let them know that, hey, something's going on here, and they can come in, and it's a whole like house to explore, not just a newsletter. And I love newsletters. I have one for the podcast industry I follow called Pod News, which I get every weekday, and I skim through that just to stay up on what's going on in the industry. But
Yeah.
an app is like on another level. It's just as good as a newsletter, and it's better.
Yeah. Yeah. I just came across that the pod news. It's like yesterday. That's really good. I like that. And for me being such a like a it's gonna be kind of funny. But I have this new show called the App Whore. So I use app whore because it means that I get around a lot of apps. So I love going in communities, not just like apps. So people wonder why I don't. It would make sense for me to go this route because I like apps. So why not have an app that for my
Yeah.
business that I could do the same thing that I do on
Yeah. You
other apps?
looked, you said you were exploring options for getting your own app. Can I hear from you what your experience has been like? Like, who have you looked at, and what have been your thoughts?
I haven't really looked at any because I was more at the time I wanted to like create one. You know what I mean? I was like wanted to know, like that's where my head was like being able. There actually was one I had looked at once. It was to do a community, like a social media community. It was Tribe and Disciple. I
Oh,
think I did like a
Disciple. Yeah, I know Disciple.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did the free trial, so I didn't get to really complete because it's a lot of work to put all that stuff, the group, the details, everything, so that people could come in and enjoy the app. So I kind of ran out of my time, the free trial, so I didn't get to finish. But I liked that aspect to be able to
Yeah.
create that environment for my own, to bring my listeners or whoever, to where we
Yeah.
can hang out and I can set the vibe and everything. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Have you heard
so
of
that's
Pod Booking? Pod Booking,
yes.
I met the founder. That's Disciple. She's using Disciple as the back end to manage her community.
Is that green shit? It's a green app, right? Is it the color green or?
Yeah, it's green. I think they're pod-booking.com,
Oh
but they're
my,
using Disciple as their community management tool.
there it goes. Yeah, I just been in there.
Mm.
I love it. I
Yeah, I
love it.
mean,
Tell her she's done an amazing job.
yeah, she has a good number of members in the community, and she's always thinking and trying to figure out how to get their members more engaged and in the right kinds of conversations. So she's definitely still learning as
Yeah,
she's going, just like I am.
yeah. Well, hey, if she has any, tell her I can definitely because that's what I like when I'm in there. That's what I like to do is go around and talk about creativity and collaboration and how can we bring more. You know what I mean? What I have this one I also use where I go in. It's called Swellcast, and I ask questions and like, what is it that turns you off from a listener, or what is it from a
Mm,
host, or what is it that you'd want to see more of? Like, what is it? To get the ideas out of the ones that are listening and
mm,
what do they want to engage in? What strikes there? And so that's kind of
mm,
been helping too. And number one was, um, like you said, like being able to talk with and being more interactive with like me, like the podcasters and all that stuff too. They like to be acknowledged. They don't like to be talked at or whatever. You're using that for of your business, and since we're podcasting, that's what they want to be more engaging, like they're
mm.
there. you know
So
and so
Swellcast sounds like It's a place where you can invite your listeners to give you feedback as a host. Is that what Swellcast is?
Well, that's what I kind of like use it. Use it. I have a tendency to. It's like a social audio, but you go
Hmm.
back and forth, and you guys can it's actually really nice. You can It's set up where some people do book clubs. Some people just ask questions, or some people just have a theme. Some people talk about world news, and then that's basically your title and everything, and then people can come respond, and engage, and you go back and forth. So many different things they do over there in Swell, and so that's
Hmm.
one of the things. I have a bullying segment I do, and then also I use it for that too, since there's so much back and forth. You can talk to anybody, can join in. I also
Okay.
use it to, to grab questions from people, the people.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you use it in kind of in conjunction with your maybe live cast, so they can participate in the broadcast. And they can message questions or give feedback.
I haven't done that yet, but I've done a lot of things, but I haven't done that yet. I've gotten people to come over and engage with me by I might have like sent them a question and asked them, could you participate and go in this, swell to start like a
Mm.
community conversation. But I hadn't tapped into it like that yet. But there's so many ways, and but just having your like that idea, your mobile app, that would I wouldn't have to do that. I can ask them right
Yeah,
there from my own app, and they
exactly.
can,
Yeah, if they had your app, yeah, they could just
Mhm,
go into your app and then just DM you questions as you're live
mhm.
broadcasting. It would just, yeah, all be in real time. So
Yeah. So that's what I've been like doing all the time, and it's like that right there would be that everything I know what they like, I know what they don't like, and it's
mm.
just yeah.
So I guess
So
when you go live on the StreamYard tool, it's going live on YouTube. It's going live on like Stitch. Is it called Stitch?
Twitch,
Twitch, right? It's going live
I
on
think
Twitch.
Periscope. I'm not sure. Probably not, because I know
Periscope,
they're
right,
coming
right.
soon. Yeah.
So on those platforms, watchers can put stuff in the comments. I think YouTube has
Yeah.
a chat now as well, so you could get feedback that way. But if you're broadcasting from StreamYard, is there a way for you to get those comments coming in from all those other platforms? Oh, cool. Yeah. So
Yeah,
you've
because
got two way feedback.
uh-huh, 'cause we're on YouTube. I mean, we're on StreamYard. Our host is like basically YouTube. So like right, so
Mm.
like we were to go live, then YouTube would be basically our basis, and then they would whatever they put into the audience when they type, we'll see it on YouTube, and we can take those comments, and put them across the screen, so we can see everything that they're asking or commenting on.
Got it. I see it. Yeah, there's a comment tab here on the right next to the
Yeah,
private chat, and that's where all the comments would come in.
yeah,
That's
hmm,
amazing. Yeah, that makes it so easy for your live viewers to just
yeah,
comment wherever they're watching from, and you can get all those comments in one place.
yeah, yeah. I think it goes to Facebook too. I think we said that already. Yeah,
Mm.
we just yeah. Sometimes we use depending on where we want the listeners to come or list like say for instance we have another place we stream to, or we have content for, then we might not, you have the choice to take it off, like okay, I'm not going to put it on Facebook because I'm already having YouTube, and if I want
Oh, I see.
people
Okay.
to come over here, then they can't watch it at Facebook, they have to come over here, kind of
I
thing,
see.
so
Yeah,
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 so that's why I really like it. Hmm.
sounds good.
And you can do it from your phone. So
Yeah,
yeah.
so our apps integrate with YouTube. So if you
Hmm.
have a YouTube channel, you can pull that right into the app as well. So and also we have live stream radio feature as well. So if you have a live stream radio URL, you can pull that in. So people can just hit play and it'll just start playing your live stream radio.
Oh my god, I'm sorry, I'm just in love, that's all. This is amazing. This is amazing. People
Yeah,
need
so
to
our
know
happy
this.
listeners can check us out at custommobile.app. Let me know if you see any improvements to the website you think we can make, but all our content and messaging is there and our features are there. And if you click through the sign up now button, you'll come to our Patreon. So we use Patreon as our CRM, and
Mhm.
we communicate to our patrons through that. And because we're still early, we're using that as our customer relationship management tool. And So you'd be supporting my small business growing as a patron. And so, yeah, we'd love to have more of you come visit us and check us out.
Sure, for sure. And I'll make sure that I put all that up too on my website, and definitely help, help with the, because I know how it is, I'm starting out. And so like I definitely want to bring people your way because I mean, I like it. I'm coming your way. So
Great.
so
I think that's
I
the most important thing. Yeah, everyone I
yeah,
talk to, every podcaster I talk to, I think is getting the value of it, and they're coming and becoming clients. So as long as I can keep you happy with your product and it's helping you grow your business, then I that's gonna spread by itself.
yeah,
It's a slower, maybe a slower growth in the beginning, but it's probably a more sustainable and a better way to grow through word of mouth than broadcasting, like and taking out ads, which I don't have money for, but you know, getting the word out artificially is probably not as a great way to grow than organically by word of mouth through happy clients and happy customers.
yeah, most definitely. Would you say that with this say for instance two different questions, somebody that just had a blog, like
Hmm.
would this also be something that they could take and build and like put their
Absolutely.
business their blog?
Yeah. So we're basically making small business apps. I'm
Hmm.
targeting podcasters because we're just in the beginning. I want to make the message really clear, but we're making
Hmm.
small business applications. And so if you're an author, you're a blogger, and you have the blog is your primary product, we can serve that through the app as well, alongside any calls to action you want that reader to make. So if on your website you have a blog and then you have a like a place to support you financially, maybe through Coffee or Patreon, we can put that right in the app as well. So your readers can take you on the go in your own app. Again, we have community features. So if you want to build a community around your readers and around the content you're delivering, that's all that can be done inside the mobile app as well. So we make custom mobile apps for content creators. And it doesn't matter what kind of content you are creating or producing. Yeah, we make that possible for any kind of content creator.
Okay. So if you have several, like a podcast, newsletter, website, blog, then you can all, and then what if like you have all that and you add on something, then you just, like, would you be able to like come and then just add it to the service or?
Yeah, yeah. So I think one of the biggest benefits of our platform, our the way we've got it set up is you can update any content in the app and publish it, and it will go live in about half an hour. It'll get pushed out to all the apps everywhere. So you don't have to resubmit the app to the app stores every time you update content. Content's updated dynamically, and we've got a backend that's really easy to use, so you can update that yourself. Um, we would only have to resubmit to the app stores when we do like bigger changes, maybe some security updates. So we make sure the app is up to spec for you. That's just part of the membership. But content management is done by you, and you get a login to your own admin dashboard where you can see analytics and also update all the content yourself, and I'll help you publish. But we can publish pretty much on demand and in close to real time in like half an hour.
Wow, that is amazing. Okay. So like for a person like me, like that has a desire to want to create one day my own possibly like social media app, like I just want to like be like the creator. What would that be like? Would that just be me creating it and then actually like putting it on the app? Like if it ever got to that point, then having it put, then I just
Yeah.
put it onto the.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we have a social wall feature already. So if you wanted a wall in your app, a social wall, um, that's already there. That's already possible. And your users would just have to make an account, then they can post pictures and text, and they can like each other's posts. So that's already a built-in feature that we can add on to. That's at the business tier, which is $15 a month. So one tier up, at the business tier, you get all the features. So the social features, the monetization features. If you have products you want to sell, and have your listeners go through the checkout flow inside the app. You can sell products and take payments on the business tier. And the last tier after that is the network tier, which is just the business tier plus as many shows as you want to add to the app. So if you have like 10 shows in your network, you can sign up to the network tier and make a network app.
Wait. Hold that. So what you're saying, you're saying for a podcaster, basically that, because you have your podcast and you have people that have their own like networks, pretty huge. But with this app, you can get to the level where you have your own podcast network where people come
Yeah,
and.
I mean, if you're thinking about making a network,
Mhm.
this would be one way to make the network. And so you can make a network app. And if you have a collaboration or some maybe an association with a couple of other shows, you can put all your shows in that app, and that'll be the one app for your network. I've been reaching out to like established networks. Um, they already have like 10 shows or 20 shows underneath their umbrella, and they're marketing themselves as a network. They're getting advertisers to the network. So those folks now can make an app for their network. But as you're talking, I'm hearing maybe if you want to make a network, if you want to make a loose network with some of your other sister podcasts or brother podcasts, and you want to make an app for the network, yeah, this would be one way to put all that together. Like maybe you would, maybe even instead of a website, you may want to make a website for the network, but even if you don't want to make a website, you can have a network app, and that's just where all the maybe sister shows are together in one place. And you can maybe promote the app, that network app, instead of just an app for your one show.
Mhm.
And then yeah, so that would help spread the word much farther, because you have more than one podcast promoting it. You would have 3 or 4 or 5 podcasts promoting it, and then you guys would share that account, um, and be able to build a community around the listeners of all the shows, not just one particular show.
Yeah.
That's a new idea.
Yeah, I like that. Oh man, that's some good stuff. Wow. Okay. So yeah. So basically, like you said, this is an app that any business, what I mean, could find, because there's not really anybody. Can you say that's like doing this?
No one can make a mobile app, custom build a mobile app for your show or for your business at $6 a month. So please come, because I mean, we need lots of clients to make the business work. I mean, that's why it's affordable. Um, we have to grow in order to make the financials work. So I'm hoping to get the word out so we get lots more clients who are joining us at the $6 or $15 a month tier, because that's how we're going to cover our costs. Because there are
Yeah.
costs that go into maintaining the software and adding new features and all that. So that's not free.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely not. Well, you got. I'm definitely on board, and I'll do, because it helps me too, for people to build yours, so I can, like helping each
Yeah,
other. So I definitely wanted to need it to work for you guys. So I definitely on my half will, because I'm an app whore, so I'm in a lot of apps. So
yeah,
I'll definitely, I love being able to push and like promote, because that's kind of what I do. I bring awareness when I go to these apps about what I've experienced. And because some people like they're critics or something like that, but they'll talk about like why things suck or don't go over there. Yeah, you could do that, but I don't want to do that. I want to go and tell them why they should use something, or my
yeah,
good experiences about things. So that's definitely something I know that people will, because everybody's got something going on now, especially in the podcasting. If it's not audio, podcasting is really big, and so I know this is something people are going to be like, "What?" They were like, "Wait, how much?"
yeah,
Because money's not, everybody's not, you know, everybody's not always able to, that'll usually shut somebody down a lot when they're trying to do something. It's like, oh, can't do that right now. But they can feel like they can do that right now. You know how like hopeful that makes people feel, so that's a
yeah.
good feeling you're giving people too.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
maybe just to set expectations about timing, after someone signs up, I can usually get like a draft app ready in a day or two. And depending on how much back and forth we go and getting the app just right, we can usually get it published to the app stores within about 2 weeks because the app stores take about 5 days to review and improve an app. So give it about 2 weeks from start to publish, and that should be a reasonable time frame to think about getting your own app out there.
Awesome. Awesome sauce. Oh my God, you have me so ready and so pumped. I'm like, yes. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Wow. Because I didn't even have any questions. I think I had like a burning question I did want to ask you, and I think you already did. Yeah, yeah, you got me there. Already, yeah, you got me there. You like killed it with the that is amazing stuff. But I did want to ask you this because that it's always that something that we have in common is that you're a business and you're starting a business, right? And like everybody that goes about trying to start a business has these doubts or these things they go through. Am I gonna be successful? Am I gonna make it? Like
Yeah,
I think these are very, very vital times right now, especially with everything going on.
yeah,
What would
yeah.
you tell somebody that has that desire and they're like kind of like this because they, feel like what if this doesn't work?
Yeah. So I'm in that every single day. I think something I've been telling myself and learning is the only way to learn how to grow a business or to build a business is to actually try building a business. And it's true for almost everything. Like the only way to learn how to be a patient person is to be a patient person or try to be a patient person again and again and again. It's only practice that will make someone learn a new skill or so yeah, if you want to learn how to start a business, you just have to start and you have to go through the motions of actually doing it. So I would encourage anyone who's thinking about it to just start, start and learn as you go, because that's the only way I learn. I learn as I go and I learn as I make mistakes. And I've made so many mistakes, but you have to make them to learn
Yes.
from them and to go to the next step. For me, there's no other way around a bad idea or except to do it and to fail and to learn from it and then go to the next one. So to be patient with yourself if you're starting a new business or starting a new project, even a podcast, to be patient with yourself, to know that it's going to be a process, and yeah, don't give up, um, and realize that the only way to learn is to learn through your mistakes. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. Just keep pushing through them and get to the next idea and just keep going because that's the way you'll learn and grow. That's the way I've learned and grown as a person, um, like emotionally, but also professionally. It's the only way, and it keeps me humble because I've got such a long track record of failure. So it's great for the soul in that it keeps you humble, but at the same time, optimistic because you get new ideas that I don't know where they come from. I only get them after I've gone through the failure, and I'm like, oh, here's another idea that I just never thought of.
Mhm.
So that keeps me optimistic and keeps me going. Um, yeah, so I'd encourage
Yeah.
entrepreneurs to try to keep that mindset as best as they can.
Yeah. That was good. I like that because you're right. You have to try. You can't allow a failure, you know what I mean? Because then if you don't try again, then you'll never know, and it's like, no, it makes you better. You know what not to do.
Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
failure only makes you better. It you learn something from everyone, and it's the door that gets you to the next opportunity. And that
Yeah.
next one may not be a success either, but you'll learn something, and it'll open the door to the next opportunity.
Yeah.
So it's just about pressing on and keep moving forward. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you because you gave me something to think about. This is my second year, almost going into three in a little bit, but this is the first time I actually said, okay, now I'm going to try to market and brand myself. I built the
Mhm.
foundation, the listeners, the audience. I
Yeah.
have an audience. For no matter what I bust out, I know I got an audience. But what I bust out with is the question, and
Yeah.
will it? And it's like that one thing can make or break you. So I'm very mindful of even the things I
Well, and
talk
also
about.
I would encourage you and other creators, entrepreneurs, don't overthink it. Like it's not whatever you think you're overthinking about, it's
Hmm.
not as important as you think it is. And the only way you're going to learn how to market, how to brand, is to actually market yourself and do the branding and make the website and do all this. It's you'll learn by doing. That's something I've learned. Like it doesn't help to overthink. Just doing it is more important, and then learning from it and evolving it, kind of tweaking it as you go is, I think, a far better approach than trying to get it just perfect on launch day.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that doesn't really work for me.
yeah. That's what's going on with our radio. I don't know if we're. I mean, there's a lot to come with it. I know we got to have things set and going, but I know that we'll never know. We did a launch, and it seemed okay, but not with like everything together. So and we won't
Yeah,
know.
and nothing is make or break.
Yeah,
There are second chances, and
yeah,
yeah, there are many, 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 many second chances. So
yeah. Definitely. That makes me excited because it just makes me want to. The stuff I've been sitting on, like, just do it.
yeah, just do it.
Mhm.
There's nothing to lose by doing it. The only thing that I've lost by doing something and failing is pride, which you don't want anyway. It's so much better to be humble and hungry than arrogant and blind and making stupid mistakes and losing credibility that way. And yeah, so to stay humble and hungry, I think is the best posture to be in because you'll learn the most and eventually you'll get there. You'll yeah, you'll reach your goal.
Yeah. Well, look at that. You came here to talk about your business and you're gonna motivate it. You're gonna drop some knowledge, some motivation. And you ever thought about going into motivational,
No,
talk?
no, not at all. Never. Even this is brand new to me. I'm an introvert. I don't, I don't put myself out there. So I'm doing it for the business. I'm putting myself out here, and it's stretching me. It's hard for me to do this, but I'm doing it, and I'm learning from it. And that's the way it is, right? You got to do what you got to do to make your project successful and to reach your goals. So that's what I'm doing. And yeah, I encourage everyone to just yeah stretch yourselves and keep going and keep growing. Do
Yeah,
the
for sure.
uncomfortable thing.
Right. Usually, if it's uncomfortable, sometimes you gotta push through it. Well, you're doing an amazing job. If I didn't know that part about you, I would have never picked up on it or anything. So, great job at pushing through and doing what you got to do.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just about getting the reps in. I tell myself and all my friends just don't worry about the performance. Just worry about getting your reps in. Just get the practice in. Um, yeah, and I'm also a Christian, so I tell myself things like don't worry about your performance. Trust in God's provision, right? So things like that really help me along too.
Yeah, most definitely. Thank you. I appreciate you. And yeah, I'm so happy that we connected so I could, be a part of, sharing, your what you're doing because it's a certain I feel like, doing this for people. So is there so I know that you have the website. Is there any you can let the listeners know the website again? Any other links that they could find to get in touch with you and anything you want them to know?
Yeah, I think that's the best place to find me is custommobile.app. Just check us out there, and you'll find links to everywhere else. But yeah, it would be really grateful if you can visit us and get connected. So thank you so much, Brandy, for the opportunity to share with your audience what we're doing.
Yeah, no
And yeah,
problem.
God bless you and your work as well.
Thank you so much, and I definitely will be getting in contact with you very shortly.
I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, Brandy.
Thank you. Have a blessed day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.